Welcome back everyone. I hope you're enjoying these new fly tying tutorials brought to you by Lively Legs. This is Fly Tyer Mike here, and this evening we're going to be tying a very simple pattern that will catch you fish. This pattern is one that I have grown to love throughout my years of fly fishing, and is one of the patterns that I caught my first few fish on a fly that I tied myself. I would consider this a confidence pattern, one that you can build confidence in your tying ability and fishing ability at the same time. As you can see here on the desk here, I have the materials that we're going to need. The hook we'll be using in the video is a Lively Legs lip splitter 135 in size 12. We're using down and dirty tungsten beads, black, 3.0 millimeter. The ribbing is vinyl ribbing in size nymph. The color is olive. The thorax is going to be peacock herl. The underbody thread, and you'll see once we get into the video what I'm talking about, is uni thread. It's 6/0 and it's in white. The thread we will finish the fly with is also uni thread 6/0, but it's black. So we're going to get ready to tie this pattern here, and I'm confident that this fly, the Caddis Larva, very simple Caddis Larva pattern, will catch you fish when fished on nearly any stream in our country. So without further ado, let's get to tying. Alright, let's get started tying our simple Caddis Larva. We have our Lively Legs lip splitter 135 in size 12 already in the vise, and we have a 3.0 millimeter tungsten bead down and dirty in black. First step is to thread your hook. Trim this tag off here, and you can see I'm trying to cover as much of that hook as I can as I wrap back a little bit past the bend of the hook. You want a little bit of curve in that. And you wrap forward. We're trying to cover all that black with our white underbody thread. We don't want that black to show through. You stop with a gap behind your bead, and that just leaves room for your thorax. Now we lay our vinyl ribbing on top of the hook bend or hook shank. One loose wrap, and now we can look and adjust our size for our thorax. I'm going to wrap a little bit forward and then bringing this back. And you can see I'm just putting it in place. Now when we wrap forward, we want to make sure we cover the entire vinyl ribbing with white. We don't want any dark color showing through. We don't want to see the hook color. We don't want to see the vinyl ribbing color. We just want white thread. And why we do that is we want only the olive color to show through. If you were to use a dark brown underbody, then your translucent vinyl ribbing would have a different color look to it, which is fine if you're trying to match different patterns, but for this one I like it to be just olive that it comes in. So the vinyl ribbing will come in a package. I like to leave it in the package, but then only keep out about what I'm going to need. It'll make it easier to rib. So we're just going to rib right around our hook. You notice I'm touching these as they go around. You want them to look very even and uniform. Once you get to where you have your thread, go under the thread, under the vinyl ribbing, and go over at least 3 times. Take your scissors, trim the excess off. You want to catch with your thread, you'll see that tag, you want to catch that tag and tie it into the body of the fly. And that keeps it nice and secure, and you can pop that bead back down to make sure it stays in line. Now this light that I'm using is very bright, but you can see that nice translucent natural look that we have with this. So now our next step is you can do a half hitch, which you use your fingers, but for this example we'll just use our whip finisher. You make the number 4, wrap it back, and then wrap it forward, a total of maybe 4 times. Slide the whip finisher forward, and then with your thread hand, pull down, and it'll bring your whip finisher right in. Turn your hand, the thread pops off, and now we have our knot. Trim your tag. Now it's time to do our thorax, and we are going to use the Uni-Thread 6/0 in black. So we'll start at our bead, and same process as threading the hook. We want to get rid of that tag. Get yourself 2 peacock herl strands. Take your fingers and pinch the strands and stroke them down. This will make them fluff out a little and give you a nice looking thorax. So we'll take our 2 peacock herls, and notice how far back I go when I tie these in. And I'm going to demonstrate what would happen if you would try to tie them in at the very tip. See how there's only a little bit there? Watch what happens. They break very easily. So what I like to do is I give it to where that quill underneath there is a little thicker and tie in at that point. Now they won't break. So when we get to the front of these, we'll pull these back, 2 wraps in front of the bead, and you can use your scissors. Be careful not to cut your thorax material and get rid of your tag. Now we're going to wrap our peacock herl around the hook, filling in the gaps, creating a nice even thorax. Just like that. And you can even go maybe one more wrap. So we'll wrap our thread touching the bead. We'll do that once and twice. Do a third time. Pull your peacock back and wrap it once, twice. That's all the more you need. This is all of our tag. I like to pull it down where I can see clearly, and see how I'm using, you might not be able to see it, but I'm actually using the same hand that I'm holding my peacock with to push the thread away. So when I cut this peacock, I don't have to jeopardize cutting my thread at the same time. So we're going to whip finish. I'm going to try to zoom out a little, and we will try to show you how to use your whip finisher. So you can see this trough right by my index finger. You lay that on the thread like so. Pick your thread hand up. You catch the thread that is closest to the fly, and you rotate your hand that's holding the whip finisher, and you create this number 4. You pull your thread hand close to your, we got a little off there, make that number 4 again, put your thread up against your bead, 1, 2, 3, we'll do a 4. You see how I just popped that off there? Now take this hand, pull straight down, and let that thread roll off the end of the whip finisher. Zoom back in here on our fly. Trim our tag. And that's all there is to this very simple caddis larva that I promise you will catch fish on. It's a very natural looking pattern, and I've caught a pile of fish using this. You can switch your bead colors out to gold if you want to get away from a natural and just have a little bit of a, almost like a hot spot. And Lively Legs now has vinyl ribbing in all sorts of colors for this body. Very effective pattern. The materials allow it to sink fast and get into that strike zone quickly. Stay tuned for more videos. Click the like and subscribe button if you would like to be notified. Click the little bell icon and it will notify you when we upload new additions to our videos. So I hope this was a good, informative tutorial video for you, and I look forward to bringing more to you in the future. Tight lines, everyone.